Hello and welcome to another Steps of Sussex channel episode. And today, I didn't know quite what to call this video, so I've called it Sussex Sunday. And we're going to be taking a look, probably most Sundays from now on, at what the tabloid papers or what's been in the media that's happened over the last couple of days. So as we know, the tabloids, the online media, like to have a royal story out for a Sunday, and Harry and Meghan are often the subject of those stories. It's getting quite difficult for me over the last few days to decipher with some of these stories which channel to put them on, whether to put them on Royal Reviewer or whether to put them here. I read some comments referring to the story that the earlier Tatler story that was out earlier this week, saying, why haven't I put it on Steps of Sussex? Well, I kind of judged that to be more of a Catherine piece, even though Harry and Meghan were mentioned in it, so it went on Royal Reviewer. So if you've missed my comments on that, I haven't been avoiding it. It was put out on a channel that goes out to 100,000 plus people. So that issue I've dealt with over there. So like I say, a lot of these stories are now beginning to cross over, especially this kind of Tatler story. So I think in light of all of these different stories coming out on a Sunday, perhaps I should start doing a Sussex Sunday where I just review what is being written out there, whether it's favourable, whether it's not favourable, and just trying to make sense of it all. So at the end of this video, if you've watched it and you found it useful in any kind of way, let me know and I will continue doing it, because sometimes it helps just to kind of go through things and just try and make sense of it all. So, hello and welcome to everyone. This is a live chat, so of course I will be trying to answer as many comments as I possibly can, but we do have quite a few Sunday stories to get through today. So I think we'll start with maybe one of the kind of lesser stories. Now, they're still the tabloids are still going on about security and, of course, security costs, who is paying for it, who is the security. Right, so let's just take a look at one of the headlines, which said, Harry and Meghan hire LA security firm that charges up to £7,000 per day and is beloved of celebrities including Jeff Bezos and Tom Hanks. Okay, well, we know, I think everyone knows and it can accept that Harry and Meghan do require a certain degree of protection and security. That has not changed from when they were in the UK to where they are now. What, of course, has changed is who delivers that protection and, of course, who pays for it. Harry and Meghan have said via a spokesperson previously that the costs of their current security are being met privately. They haven't said who it is, but we do know that the Royal Protection Officers are not part of that anymore. There was a sticking point. Now, Harry and Meghan, of course, originally did believe that because of their royal status, because of Harry's royal status, that they would be entitled to continue with the Met Police protection. Even if I think at one point it's believed that Harry and Meghan offered to pay for, to have some of that Met Police security detail, that was proved to be unworkable and refused by the police department, because I think they didn't want to send the message that you could just hire out a police protection officer. They are not a private business. The Met Police is taxpayer funded. So it kind of went against that. Now, I do think, personally, my own personal opinion is that I think that could possibly have been waived because of Harry and Meghan's royal status. I do think, most people don't have a royal status. Most people do not, require international protection. Harry and Meghan do. So even if they offered to pay for it, I think that would be acceptable. But anyway, the Met decided that would be a conflict of interest, so they are not doing that anymore. But rumours are that Harry and Meghan have hired a security team dubbed the Secret Service for famous people. And it goes on about the potential £7,000 a day. Oh, by the way, where's those glasses? I'm finding that I'm needing glasses to read. The screens are very small So yeah, when all this is finished and I get my eye, these are Matt's glasses, but when I actually get my own eyes tested, I will get anti-glare glasses. But anyway, now, like I said, this firm is believed to have worked for other A-listers, including Jeff Bezos and Tom Hanks. And the team working with the royals in LA is believed to have been handpicked by Gavin DeBecker, 65. To be perfectly honest, I have no idea who that is. Who is a former security chief for President Ronald Reagan. Okay, well, there we know. So his firm, GDBA, claims to protect thousands of clients and has boasted of working with the CIA and FBI. Now, again, we do not know if any of these companies have any association with Harry and Meghan. It could just be a piece trying to promote a business. It might actually have nothing to do with Harry and Meghan whatsoever. It's unclear who is paying for the security bill, so why write this article in the first place? Though friends of the Sussexes claimed this week that the couple would be paying for protection out of their own pocket. Well, friends didn't need to claim that because Harry and Meghan had already said that it would be met privately. So I think this article is clutching at things that we already knew and then saying that they have contact with friends of the Sussexes. And of course we know that Harry and Meghan have cut ties with all of the British tabloids. So I really don't think that any of their friends would have any associations either. The friends continue. Friends claim that the couple are being protected by a private security team already in place at Tyler Perry's mansion in LA. I mean, we have no confirmation on that. It says DeBecker's GDBA firm are now believed to be behind that team. Again, we cannot confirm nor deny that. A source told The Star. Now, The Star in the UK is not exactly a reputable source of information, shall we say. Anyway, they say Harry and Meghan have full confidence in DeBecker's firm and they come highly recommended. Well, I'm sure they do. Perhaps it's DeBecker's firm that got in touch with The Star to help promote their business. Anyway, it just goes on and on and on about security, Oprah Winfrey, blah, 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 blah. Basically, we do not know which firm at the moment is providing Harry and Meghan's protection. The only fact that we do actually know is that the cost of that is being met privately. And again, you know, there's rumours going around about whether Charles is paying for that or not. We don't know that. It's kind of unuseful and unhelpful to speculate on that. All we know is it's being met privately. And to be perfectly honest, I'm not actually bothered which team or knowing which team is providing their security. All that I want to know is that they are safe. That's the only thing that I want to know. I don't need to know the ins and outs. I don't need to know how much they're paying per day. I don't need to know what DeBecker thinks. I don't need to know what supposedly friends and sources think. Oh, my goodness. What has royal watching been reduced to? It's been reduced to talking about how much security costs. Seriously, I mean, I'm gonna give over the glasses side eye. That's what I'm giving here. Right, okay. What are people saying about this story? Let's just have a look. Yes, blessings and prayers to everybody. Yes, hello. Hello to you all. H. London, yes, says, I have become very worn out by this saga. No matter what, things just keep getting worse by the day. I do not understand the degree of obsession the press and tabloids have. Yes. Annie says, I too just want to know that they are safe. I don't care about the ins and outs of it. I don't need to know what Harry and Meghan's security guard had for breakfast. I don't need to know, you know, what kind of deodorant they use or any of these kinds of things. I just want to know that they've got security, that they're safe, that they're happy with that, and that's okay. Winifred says, royal watching has been reduced to gossiping and racial attacking. All of those things and more. All of those things and more. Also, to be honest, all these drones, there's drone stories going around as well. And I haven't done a piece on drones. I was assured. I remember when Harry and Meghan first moved to Canada, and then I think we did a chat where we spoke about the potential of them moving elsewhere. People were saying that in LA, because I remember asking, I said, I don't know. Oh no, it was a story when the paparazzi were getting pictures of Tyler Perry's mansion before they put the screens up, I think it was. And I said, well, I don't know what the rules are regarding drones. I know that the rules regarding drones over royal residences are that it's a no-fly zone, and those rules are strictly adhered to by everybody. They are rigorously enforced over royal residences. But I said, I don't know about LA. And then people assured me that there are rules in place over LA, that over private homes, there is a no-fly zone. People assured me that they would not be droned. But it turns out they have been droned. I don't know who is behind those drones. I'm imagining it is the tabloid press. I do not know if that tabloid press is of, American, Canadian, Australian, British. I have no idea what nationality is behind it. It could be a mixture of others. But Harry and Meghan have been reportedly being droned, and they have complained a number of times to the police. Now, the LAPD, I do believe, has said that there has been unsolicited drones flying in the area, although we do not know if the complaints to the police, and I think there have been numerous complaints to the police, we do not know, the police did not confirm whether or not they came from Harry and Meghan. So all of these claims saying that Harry and Meghan have been talking to the police, or their security detail has been talking to the police about drones, all we know is, in terms of facts, the LAPD have said that there have been complaints about drones in the area, and that they are taking a look at that. I do not know any more on that. So I just thought I would just do a little tiny piece on drones. Baby Sis Dolls says it is illegal to drone in California. Well, that's what I was led to believe. Anyway, I'm going to move on from drones because, to be honest, there are far more things to talk about other than drones, to be quite honest, and security detail. The next story I'm going to look at today is a claim that one of Prince Harry's long-standing friends and mentors, who is an ex-Guards officer, former Welsh Guards, is a man called Mark Dyer. Now, he has apparently been kind of a mentor, a figure in Harry and William's lives, in both the brothers' lives, that has been, I think, a source of strength throughout the years. It is believed, although not confirmed, that perhaps Mark Dyer is even one of Archie's godparents, but we cannot say for sure because Harry and Meghan did not reveal who the godparents were. However, one person that is likely to be, could be Mark Dyer. Now, this article does kind of throw a little bit of shade in all kinds of directions, but it says that for more than 20 years, Mark Dyer has been entrusted by Prince Charles to act as an older brother figure to his two sons, dutifully extracting Harry from nightclub scrapes in his younger years, or advising both of them on their military careers. Now, I don't know how they can claim to know that Prince Charles has entrusted him to have a role. I think it's just a case of that he's a friend. He is a friend, and I think to have been a friend that is older than Harry and William, it just makes sense that your family, your parent, would have been happy with that friendship. So again, I think just clutching at straws, trying to make out that they know something when they don't. Now, former Welsh Guards officer Mark Dyer has a new role, claims the Mail on Sunday. Can reveal acting as a pivotal go-between in the sensitive business of building bridges between Harry and William, particularly since the younger royal sibling turned his back on royal life to live in LA. See, I told you it was full of these little digs going in there. Now, obviously, friends are friends, and if you are a mutual friend of two different people that might not be getting on, you may always kind of want to help and give advice or, try and, guide them to help patch things up. There's only so much you can do in that department if you've ever been in that kind of a situation before. But just being there, being an ear to listen and, a sounding off board, I think is one of those things that really can help in that kind of situation. But we do not know. We do not know if this claim is true, whether he has been, lending his help and support or not. But if he is such a close friend as claimed, then the likelihood is that he's probably spoke to William and Harry about this at some point. Then the article goes on about hashtag, Megxit, and all the things, all the problems between the brothers. Yeah, I mean, it says, a friend says long transatlantic chats between Mark and Harry have started to reap healing dividends between the brothers. His advice to the prince was talk and listen. Now, I have heard other reports that things are getting a little bit better since everything that's happened with all the lockdown and everything, that Harry and William have been talking more by video call and that kind of thing because of different family situations that have arisen, like birthdays and that kind of thing. He continues, of course, that's not always been easy, as William and Harry are both proud and angry. Well, I don't know which friend this is or which source it is, but that's what they're claiming. Both apparently felt let down by each other. William felt that Harry had deserted his family and his duty. Harry felt that William and Kate hadn't welcomed Meghan into the fold. However, both realised what was at stake and that they were in danger of losing each other. They are now talking, but it will take time to mend. Again, I can neither confirm nor deny those claims. By the way, Mr. Dyer is actually age 53, so he is, over 20 years older than William and Harry. Yeah. After leaving the army, he worked as Charles's equerry, and he set up some London gastropubs, and then it goes on about the gastropubs. He now runs the Book House in Parsons Green, where he dined with Harry the night before the Megxit deal was announced in January. Again, I'm not really liking the continued use of Megxit because it does kind of insinuate that all of the blame should be put on Meghan for it, when all the reports that I've been hearing are that it was Harry's principal decision and desire to step back from being senior working royals. Anyway, that's a whole nother issue. I don't think they are going to stop using that word. So yeah, it says that, it also says that that Mr. Dyer's Texan wife Amanda, who's a daughter of managing director of JP Morgan Securities, is apparently liked by Meghan. She is said to have taken the actress under her wing. Again, more shade. Knowing firsthand what it is to marry into the British establishment, the friend adds, Mark's never let the boys down, blah, blah, blah. Again, more shade at Meghan. Shade alert. Unlike many others of Harry's old set, Dyer survived Meghan's shuffling of the pack of her husband's friends. Make no mistake, there is a long way to go to bring the princes together, but Dyer commands Harry's respect and knows more intimately than most the details of how the brothers fell out. Well, I don't know who's leaking this, because I certainly don't think Harry, Meghan, William or Catherine would be very happy if somebody was talking and revealing all these kind of details. So no. And it just goes on and on and on and on about all those kinds of things. Do we need to carry on? We get the thrust of the article. They're trying to claim that they know what's going on behind the scenes, using obviously a third person to do that. Oh, are you getting exhausted? I'm feeling exhausted already. Stephanie says, Harry has said that his issue is with the royal family relationship with the media. I'm going to stick with that and not the William and Kate. Oh, well, we've got the William and Kate issue coming up in a moment. Trudy says the tabloids need to stop. We do not buy their papers here. We do not care about them. Something about my hair. What was it? Oh, apparently my hair looks good. Well, thank you. It's kind of down. Right, let's kind of... Oh yes, Sharona, Bo, my kitten, my new kitten, is liking his new home. He's on the bed, right above me, asleep. Right, let's move on, because I'm fed up of go-between stories. Right, let's go to... apparently, let me read the headline, then we'll delve into it a bit deeper. So, Kate and William to sue Tatler over cruel, sexist and woman-shaming article that criticised her weight, parenting, and claimed she felt thrown under the bus by Harry and Meghan. Now, okay, one of the things that kind of stood out from the last video I made on Royal Reviewer was people saying, you know, why have William and Catherine now suddenly decided to issue statements about stories, and then, you know, if this story is to be believed, why have they kind of, you know, tried to sue when they kind of didn't do that when Harry and Meghan were a member of the royal family? Now, I mean, there were certain things issued. The royal family tend not to comment on every single story. I think the answer very, very much lies in what is a red line issue, what's considered to be a red line issue for the royal family. And, you know, I don't set up what those red lines are. Those red lines are obviously, you know, felt by the people who that's being aimed towards. Catherine with the Botox story was obviously a red line for her. With Harry and Meghan, the story about, you know, not wanting the Frogmore staff to talk to them in the grounds and all that kind of thing, that was obviously a red line story. So statements were issued for various things, but, you know, the Queen's never complain, never explain kind of mantra still does go through the royal family. Whether people agree with that or not, that is the case. But obviously, this Tatler article has become a red line issue for William and Catherine. But also, within that article, it did also heavily criticise and put blame on Harry and Meghan for supposedly leaving William and Catherine feeling like they had an excessive and increased workload and all the rest of it. So, the one thing I would like to point out, which I don't think people have generally considered, is that a denial by William and Catherine that what's in the Tatler article is a misrepresentation and all the different words that they used in their statement. It also does inadvertently, you know, say that all the claims in it about Harry and Meghan are also not true. So in a weird kind of way, William and Catherine kind of refuting this article has also, you know, taken some of the criticism that was aimed at Harry and Meghan in the article away from them as well. So they've kind of tried to kind of neutralise the effect of the article. Again, people were saying that William and Catherine knew the editor of Tatler from their university days. University days were a very, very, very long time ago, and I've had time to think about this association. They did go on holiday. I think it was just after university finished. They did go on holiday with him to the south of France, I think on 2 separate occasions. But it is not known how much contact they have had since university. Think back to your own school days or university days. How many people that you were close to are you still close to? In fact, we don't even know how close they were. It could have just been someone that went on holiday. Also, that piece was not a good piece. I don't think any continued friend of William and Catherine would have posted that. So I am questioning whether or not William and Catherine are still friends with the editor of Tatler. It just doesn't kind of make sense that a true friend would put out that kind of piece against someone who, you know, who could be your friend. Also, I did notice when I did a quick Google search that at some point, and I forget which year, the editor of Tatler did put out like a behind-the-scenes picture of Catherine where she was looking a little bit worse for wear, and I don't think that would have gone down very well with Catherine. Catherine does like to very, very much tightly control her image and how she is viewed. So to put out a kind of drunken, blurry-eyed picture of Catherine, I don't think would have gone down very, very, very well. So if there was one point when perhaps that friendship broke down, I'm thinking it may have been after that picture was put out. I don't think Catherine in particular would have appreciated him putting out that piece. So I am questioning whether or not they are still friends. What I'm looking at, to me, points that perhaps they've drifted or even perhaps fallen out over this editor using inside information, possibly posting these photographs of Catherine that were not favourable. So I'm thinking that they fell out, basically. That's what I'm trying to say. So that's just something to consider. Right, let's kind of go on to the article. So apparently the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge are understood to be taking legal action against Society Bible Tatler magazine after it published a string of lies about Kate. In a highly unusual move, the couple have sent legal letters to the magazine demanding its profile of the Duchess, headlined Catherine the Great, be removed from the internet. Again, I cannot confirm whether that is true or not. I haven't seen any legal papers. However, for this to be put out here as a big headline Sunday story, we have to take into account that it may be true. They may have considered this to be a red line issue. It comes after Kensington Palace issued a fiercely critical statement on last week's article, which of course Tatler responded to with a counter statement, which it said contained a swathe of inaccuracies and false representations. The palace apparently is particularly furious about claims that Catherine feels exhausted and trapped by the increased workload following Harry and Meghan's decision to step back. Now, in my other video on Royal Reviewer, I did talk about this at length. My own personal feelings on this are that Harry and Meghan's workload that they had was very much attached to their own charities and their own organisations and patronages. William and Catherine have not had to take on those patronages and that personal day-to-day work. That was always Harry and Meghan's. That's kind of, gone with Harry and Meghan, or of course just not happening at all. William and Catherine have not had to take up any of those extra duties. The only thing that I can think of in the future that would impact William and Catherine with having less members of the senior working royal family is perhaps overseas tours. Of course, with less members of the royal family, no Prince Andrew, no Harry, no Meghan, there would be more overseas tours on behalf of the nation, on behalf of the monarch. So I can see more in the way of overseas tours coming to William and Catherine. That would have always happened anyway. When William becomes, Prince of Wales one day, Duke of Cornwall, they would have incurred more in terms of foreign royal visits anyway. In terms of the set-piece events like Trooping the Colour, Royal Ascot, blah, 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 those things would have happened anyway. And actually, if you look at the court circular, which records all of the engagements, and I know, obviously we've had coronavirus to deal with, but the royal family have been doing video calls and all that kind of thing, such as Harry and Meghan have been doing as well. And the workload has not increased. So, all these claims that, Catherine's feeling exhausted and trapped by the increased workload because of Harry and Meghan's decision to step back, trying to put blame on Harry and Meghan for Catherine feeling exhausted, that is simply not true. So let's carry on. The Duke and Duchess are also said to be upset about criticism of her family, her children and her weight. The article is full of snobbery. Now, Tatler, if you didn't know, is a kind of high society magazine. Aristocrats read it, posh families read it, royals read it. It's the kind of upper echelon of society, kind of, gossipy magazine. So those kind of publications do often look down on what they would describe as new money. And Catherine's family, her mother's previous jobs and the fact that she was born where she was born. They've been looked at as kind of new money. Catherine's mom and dad, the Middletons, have self-made their own money by setting up their businesses, etc. So that is kind of looked down upon. So there is a lot of snobbery in that article. The article, written by Anna Pasternak, makes reference to the eating disorders suffered by William's mother, Princess Diana, saying Kate has become perilously thin, just like some point out Princess Diana. Again, I'm sensing this is kind of also why this might be a red line issue for William and Catherine. But also, Princess Diana is Harry's mother as well. So these kind of claims, using Diana, just as kind of tabloidy, gossipy fodder, would also more than likely have hurt Prince Harry as well. Which is why, this statement issued by the Cambridges, I feel, also, goes to try and protect Harry and Meghan to a certain extent as well, even though Harry and Meghan are not the main focus of that article. Apparently, a source told the Mail on Sunday that it's such an extremely cruel and wounding barb. It's disgusting, it's sexist, and woman-shaming at its very worst. And I know what you're thinking. A royal source didn't... Well, the Mail on Sunday haven't claimed a royal source said the same thing about Meghan. I don't remember having ever read one. Apparently they go on, this piece is full of lies. There is no truth to their claim that the Duchess feels overwhelmed with work, nor that the Duke is obsessed with Carol Middleton. Is preposterous and downright wrong. Well, I don't know about all the other stuff, but I certainly know that from the increased workload point of view, I don't believe that is true at all. You can tell quite clearly from the court circular. So, though, as far as I'm concerned, the court circular is receipts on that one. The whole thing is class snobbery at its very worst. Well, I can agree with that. Tatler is the kind of magazine that would do class snobbery. The stuff about Kate's sister Pippa is horrible. Tatler may think it's immune from action, as it's read by the royals and on every coffee table in every smart home, but it makes no difference. So yeah, here are some of the claims that are said to have enraged Catherine and William. Kate is furious about the larger workload. Well, we've done that one. Catherine has been perilously thin. We've done that one. William and Catherine really wanted to be hands-on parents, and the Sussexes have effectively thrown their 3 children under a bus. Again, obviously one of the denials that's protecting Harry and Meghan from that claim. I've heard that Prince William is obsessed with Carol. She's the mummy he always wanted. Catherine has a ruthless survival streak, just like the House of Windsor. It's why she is so well suited. She keeps her head down because the prize of being queen is so great. The Middleton family will always close ranks. None of them can quite believe they have hit the jackpot. And Carol being considered NQOCD, not quite our class darling, for having been born in a council flat in Southall. So again, those are some of those claims. Someone else's, a source, has said, it's ironic that the royals' favourite magazine is being trashed by them. The Duchess is a naturally shy woman who is doing her best. And then it just kind of goes, it also makes a new claim about, the story about the tights. Well, it's been, a long-held claim that Catherine was reduced to tears because of the tights debacle. Meghan didn't want tights. Catherine felt tights were more appropriate. Blah blah blah. There was never any confirmation of that story. But now sources are claiming that it actually wasn't tights that was the issue. It was the hemlines. The Mail on Sunday understands that the fallout was over Meghan's reaction to Kate's request that the hem of Charlotte's dress be lengthened. The resulting row left Catherine in tears. So now we have a new claim. It's now not tights gates, it's hemline. You couldn't write this. You seriously couldn't write this, could you? Somebody has written it. Anyway, the profile takes aim at Catherine's taste and her family sneering, describing the Cambridge's Anmer home in Norfolk as very Buckinghamshire. Carol has put her stamp on the Anmer decor-wise. Blah, blah, blah. And yeah, it's just the whole article is basically just full of complete snobbery. Oh, they've actually said it here as well. Figures in the court circular, the official record of royal engagement suggest otherwise. Well, I've just said that, so they've done the same thing as me. They've just gone to the court circular and checked the amount of engagement. In fact, it says actually, because of coronavirus and everything, the amount of engagements are actually down from 29 this year against 35 in 2019. Now again, we do not know whether, and I know there's going to be claims that perhaps Kensington Palace are behind some of the information that's been leaked to the writer of this article, who is Emily Andrews. Yes, I know what you're thinking. We don't know. Again, we do not know. Could this be damage limitation? We don't know. Also, there's all these claims that Kensington Palace, knew about the article. It's believed that Kensington Palace knew the article was being written. They were asked to contribute to a photo shoot for the cover of it. Apparently, Kensington Palace refused, didn't want to cooperate with that, and then the article went ahead anyway. There is no proof or no evidence that Kensington Palace were made aware of the finalised content of the article. It's believed they didn't get an article in advance of publication. It was just a request to take part in contributing to a cover for that Tatler edition, which we know Catherine did not do because they've used a paparazzi photo from an engagement. So we know that they did not do that. There we go. That is that article. Oh, right. Are you all exhausted by now with all these claims? Let's go and see what people are saying. Right, Shirley says, this is the Harry and Meghan channel. You do know that Harry and Meghan supporters are highly educated. Yes. But like I said at the very, very top of this video, if you're joining partway through, it's very, very difficult to place these videos in either one channel, whether it's the Royal Reviewer or indeed this channel. I got criticised by some people for saying I should have put the video I put on Royal Reviewer on here. So I'm doing the whole story, and that includes, there is shade within that article about, of course, Harry and Meghan. Right, let's kind of go on again. So V says, a Tatler editor is Kate's friend, of course. Well, we don't know. We don't know if they are still friends, do we? I've just, at the very, very top of this video, I went through a whole thing about why I personally think that they're probably not friends anymore. And I don't think they have been for a long time. So if you've missed me talking about that, go back and see why I'm feeling that, I'm sensing that perhaps they are not friends anymore. Right, I'm going to move on. I know that whole article, the whole thing, is very, very contentious. I know people are going to have very, very strong opinions either way. It's okay, voice those opinions, but of course, do remain respectful of everyone, and try not to trash people when we're talking about it. Again, I will say that all of those articles that I have just been reading from, I cannot say if they are true or false, or I cannot say if all the sources are correct. We do not know. I am just going through what the papers are saying on this Sunday. Right, Piers Morgan. Yes, I did utter that name. Now, I remember telling you, I remember correcting several YouTube channels who were saying, what was it? Piers Morgan, was it Steps Back? No, well, not Steps Back, it was Piers Morgan, what did he do? I can't remember. Anyway, people were putting out these headlines that he was retracting what he was saying, blah, blah, blah. And I said, not true. I said, all he's done is he's just said that perhaps going forward, he would change the way that he was going to speak about Harry and Meghan, and that he felt it was unprofessional the way that he had dealt with them previously. Now, an article published today Apparently, he's taken a fresh swipe at Prince Harry and Meghan, so no, it's not over. He hasn't changed his views at all, which is exactly what I said in my video about that before. So he has, what's he said this time? He has said, let me find the bit where it says, oh yeah, he says, I don't really care about them anymore. Let me just wait for the article to load because my thing's quite slow. So he's still talking about them, so he hasn't finished talking about them at all. I just seen some comments coming through saying he'll never change, he's a monster. Right, my article is not loading up, so I won't be able to tell you exactly what he said. Right, okay, technical issue. My article is actually, the page is frozen. In fact, it's frozen on a picture of Piers Morgan's face, really close up, which is not, don't envy me. I'm not in an enviable position. Right, is it going? No, it's not going. Anyway, right, I can't load the article. So, Piers Morgan has been saying things about Harry and Meghan again. So, he hasn't been quiet, he hasn't kept his mouth shut, he hasn't changed his spots, let's put it that way. Yes, Sandy, Tatler did defend themselves for their publication and for their sources. I read Tatler's response to Kensington Palace's statement on the other video on Royal Reviewer. They did indeed say that they defended the article writer, they defended their sources, and they said, of course, that Kensington Palace had been informed of the article and that a request had been made to cooperate on it. But they did not say that they had been made aware of the exact content of the article, just made aware of it, aware of its existence, basically. Right, I'll just check that article one more time, see if it's loaded. No, it has not. And there we go. That is all of the Sussex stories that I can find for today. If you found it useful and you want me to do a run through of the Sussex stories, Sunday stories, every Sunday, do let me know in the comment section below. Right, and by the way, I am not saying that anything in those articles is true. So, from me in Shropshire, mwah to you all, and goodbye.